Right, here we are again. Number 4 of the weekly coaching sessions. No one's accepted the invitation, so maybe this will be the last one. But I was only going to talk just for 20 minutes or so, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes on one aspect of my coaching. So, as I mentioned, the Alexander technique is this thing I've studied for years, and it's much misunderstood. And what it brings, why I teach, the way I've learned it is it brings me a conscious control. That's the kind of the jargon, that's the terminology, but it's an awareness of what I'm thinking about. And it's that awareness and that's key to the Alexander technique. And so with part of my coaching, one of the aspects I'm talking about is that level of awareness, which is everything around you. It's the knowledge, the noticing, the acceptance of everything around you. And the more narrow and fixed we are on things, the more limited we are in our thinking. So bring greater awareness to anything, a problem, an issue, our swimming, our environment, then things change. So I can kind of demonstrate that by really fixing on the camera, really just narrow fix it, or I can still be talking to the camera and aware of, oh, there's a dog barking, or I'm sitting on a chair and the light's coming in, and I can feel the cold air from the window coming in. All these things, I'm still able to talk to you. I can feel my weight on the chair, my feet supporting me on the floor, the space above me, the space behind, and all these things, this awareness is what brings me a different perspective. So within the awareness side of things is the attention, what I'm paying attention to. So again, whilst I might be really fixed and just have my attention fixed on the camera, I can apportion part of that attention to the camera, but still have my attention on different aspects, like the glass of water here, because I'm really thirsty. So I've got a bit of attention to my thirst. So those are the things that we work on in the coaching. Now, why do I mention this? Well, the new component, or I think it's the new approach I'm taking with my coaching, is to specifically heighten and mention and emphasize this. Because again, everyone's looking for technique, everyone's looking for, tell me how to fix my swimming. But it's your understanding that's the key. Without understanding, you won't really be able to change your swimming. You won't be able to change anything really in your life. You have to have that deep how to, not the what to. And that's what I'm coaching. That's why I work with Zoom. Cramp. That took my attention. Now, what I'm doing with this new emphasis, I'm calling it at the present moment to your stroke, or at the present moment to your swimming. And I was tempted to call it mindful swimming, but I can't stand the word mindful. Mindfulness just conjures up candle, whale music, zoning out, not having anything in my head. I want a full mind, actually. I want a conscious mind. I want an active mind, noticing things around me, being aware of everything. I don't want to just space out meditation-wise. I don't want things to be passing me by. I want to be conscious. I want to be noticing. So I think mindful swimming might catch people's attention, but they might not have a full understanding of what I'm doing. And it's really conscious control. And there is a mindful aspect to Alexander's technique. It's just not called mindfulness. It's called conscious control. So I've just added some more content to my online course. I have an online course that supports the coaching, where people sign up for my 4-week program to target maybe their balance, which is the key. Or they might target the inability for them to fix their swimming, because they're so busy trying to do technique, they're so busy trying to fix their swimming, they don't really know what's going on. There's so much in their heads, they can't figure out what to do next. So that's the movement awareness component. That's another 4 weeks. And the final 4 weeks is normally the live every stroke, swimming the present moment, mindful swimming. But that's going to be the overarching emphasis of the program now, because I think that's the most important. As I said, without understanding, you won't be able to change your swimming. And without that moment of awareness and what you're paying attention to, you don't really notice what's going wrong really with your swimming. You might think it's breathing, you might think it's arm movement or arm position, but there'll be actually something else going on. So this adding the present moment to your stroke is something I was just talking to, I was hoping you'd be on the call actually, Matt. He was saying that he doesn't enjoy swimming. And do you know what? He was surprised to hear that most people don't. Of all the hundreds of people that I've spoken to in the last 9 months, very few people enjoy swimming. They might enjoy the benefits or the idea of swimming or the getting out of the pool and saying, I've done a million lengths, but physically, the act of swimming, the motion, the momentum, the movement, it's a chore, it's something to get over and done with. But if you change your attention and awareness, so that you're aware of the buoyancy, the sensations, the feedback from the water, your flow of movement from your fingertips all the way through to your toes, that is something that brings joy and it makes swimming enjoyable. So I've gone from hating swimming really, essentially, to loving swimming. And I've added in the principles of the Alexander technique, and that goes back to conscious control, which is being present, being mindful. Excuse me. As an example, Matt gets in the pool, just burns through length after length, hates it, doesn't enjoy it, never thought to change it. That's how he learned. That's the technique. Didn't know there was an option to pause, to add in the present moment, to change his awareness. And that's what I spoke to him about very briefly over a pint down the pub. Matt, add a pause to your stroke. What? Simply pause. Become more aware of everything around you, for instance, or simply one thing, the sounds. Or if something, he said he was unbalanced. So in that moment, that pause, where's the balance? Where's the support from the water? What's happened? And as we spoke, we realized that his arm, he didn't really think about what his arm was for. It's simply to take a stroke, but your arm's there for balance. In fact, I have a concept in my approach, in my course called Your Arm is a Keel. And this is there's a podcast on my SoundCloud channel that talks about this. I've added some free content to that channel just to show my different approach. So we talked to Matt about how his arm can support him in the water. And whilst he was obsessed and fixated on technique and alignment, that's not swimming with an understanding, that's simply doing what you're told. So I gave him a different approach, a different idea. I mentioned the idea that your arm is a keel, that support. If you don't know what a keel is, the keel is the part, the vertical shaft on the hull of a boat that stabilizes the boat. A dinghy is unstable, it doesn't have a keel. A boat has a keel, it's more stable. So the idea of just introducing a change to his understanding in that present moment of a pause in his stroke, we'll try, because it'll be more balanced, right? It'll have more spatial awareness, space to think, time to think, and it will change his enjoyment of the water. So all this can be done simply by coaching. I mean, I did it over a pint in the pub, but that doesn't matter, it's not in the pool. If I'm in the pool with you, you'll simply try and do what I'm saying or what I'm doing or copying. But if we talk about the concepts and build up your understanding for your own swimming, then that empowers you. Then you get to change. Then you get to choose. And the choices you make are in that present moment, which is the pause, which is your conscious control of your swimming, of your thoughts. Does that make sense? So we're adding the present moment to your swimming by simply pausing. You probably don't glide very much. Not many people do. The glide is the joy of swimming. So if you're adding a glide, lengthen your stroke, you don't have to rush to the next stroke. And if you're balanced in the water, you have all the time in the world, all the time that you need to pause, become aware of one thing, the sounds, the support, contact from the water, the splash from someone else, the perfume of a lady when she goes swimming past, or the aftershave, for the sake of equality. So it's those aspects of your conscious control that we build up in the coaching. Now you can read the online material on its own. That's an option. Or you can have weekly calls with me. Now you could have 3 weekly calls, but no one showed up. So I may stop these, or I might put a survey in about what times would be best for you guys. I did that before and no one responded. So I've chosen the time that works for me. So swimming in the present moment, mindful swimming, Alexander technique, conscious control. Those are the aspects that I'm talking about, that I'm coaching, to give you an understanding of your swimming, not specifically a new technique. You already have your technique. You just need to adapt it. You've adopted it, we just need to adapt it now to suit you, your swimming. But it's the change in your thinking that's the key. Okay, so I'm full of cold. I'm struggling to not cough. That's 10 minutes. That'll do you. All right, you're welcome to watch this on the group. You're very welcome to drop some comments, maybe about your thoughts or when you'd like these calls. Or if you don't want these calls, I'll stop the calls. I can close the group down. These are just for your benefit. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. All right. Have a nice day. Bye.